Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Let's Talk Film. Today, we're going to dive into a movie that came out this week, and I didn't see much advertising for it, but also it could just because I'm getting the Speak No Evil remake shoved down my throat. And yeah, this one's called The Front Room. If you haven't seen any of the trailers for it, it's about this religious grandmother who gets moved into her son's house, and her son and his wife are having a kid, and the grandmother is extremely religious, and some things just don't feel right when she starts to move in. And yeah, let's dive right into thoughts and opinions. So, right off the bat, I found myself sitting there and thinking, man, there's just so much stuff they're just kind of throwing at us, and it doesn't really get an introduction or explanation or enough time for the viewer to sort of get it. Um, I found myself a little confused at certain points, and I get it. Some horror films are supposed to have you a little confused, but this was a different kind where I started to lose where the plot was. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little confusing at points because of it. And also it's just not too interesting with many of the things that get thrown. I don't feel like a lot of it gets developed, and overall it just didn't help. But I did see some really good glimpses at some great performances by everyone, but it really never stayed consistent in creating these characters. And I think you could say it's an issue with the script, the story, and the dialogue, just because even that it's not consistent. It goes on a roller coaster of highs and lows, and I I found myself quite frustrated because at the end of the day, I don't really feel like the characters got a chance to truly develop. It's just, oh, this is how they're feeling. Next scene, this is how they're feeling now. And I I wish we got more time to let them develop, let them get the character of who they are, and let the audience connect with that. And I think that's a really big missed opportunity for this movie because it really relies on the performance of the three characters, because that's really what you got in this movie. And yeah, one one nice thing I will say about this movie though, and I think it's really cool, is the sound direction. I think is neat. I really like the decision to click the walking stick. I think that's pretty cool. My big issue with this movie, other than what I mentioned before, and I think this is really what held me back from enjoying it, was it as a movie that's being marketed as a horror movie, a religious horror movie. I didn't really get any sense of fear or dread in this whole movie. I just found myself more grossed out at some scenes, and like, yes, that is horror and that's a valid horror, but still I don't think that was done well. And I take a big issue with that. I think if you're going to market it as a horror film, it needs horror elements, which I just think this movie failed at so badly. And it could be part of an issue where religious horror is pretty overdone at this point. We've had quite a few in the past few years come out, and we've seen some really great ones. Shout out First Omen. And we've had a whole lot of terrible ones. And I think this one falls in in that category a little more. But also, I think if the market wasn't so overdone with this genre, it would make this movie a lot easier to sit through. But yeah, my I also just I found the ending a little frustrating, and at the end just like, okay, like sure, but yeah, it it was a rough watch for sure, and yeah, I I don't know. I think religious horror needs a little break after, especially after seeing this. But yeah, so that's my thoughts, my little rambling. Thank you all for listening or watching, whatever you guys are doing, and have a great evening, day, night, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side, and take care.